and there is another workshop in the evening at 6. So running 2 group workshops in one day, and there is I wouldn't say it's impossible, but for my time schedule, I have to really cope a lot. So I'm going to strictly try to keep it in time. And also, as we know, today's session is just not for our young masters, it's also for our parents. And some of our parents have requested that our children may not be able to sit for too long. So can we just keep it to half an hour? So keeping that in mind, let's all help each other to keep track of the time. Okay, with that, let's get into it. So my dear children who are here on this platform with me, I wholeheartedly welcome you. You are attending one of the Self-Empowerment 2019 online sessions that I've been holding with your parents or with your uncles and aunties or whoever it is that have brought you onto this platform for quite a few months. So this workshop in the morning, which has started Melbourne time 9 o'clock, the first session will be for young masters. When I said young masters, I did mention an age limit of over 6, preferably, because not saying children under 6 can't attend this, but it will be a bit of a challenge for them to be on the same platform as what we are talking, so preferably over 6. This is going to be a bit of challenge for me too, because the kind of age group that I have been told ranges from 6 to 22 or I think 24. So I have to be very mindful that whatever I speak, whatever I say, or whatever I convey as part of my workshop makes sense to a 6-year-old as well as 22-year-old. It's a wide range of age group. So sometimes I might get down to the very basics, keeping in mind that I have very, very young masters in this group. At the same time, sometimes when I have teenage young masters in my mind, I might get into a bit of a discussion. So this is going to be a bit of a challenge both for the children and for me, just to make sure everyone is engaged only because of the age group distribution we have. But nothing is impossible. We'll try to keep the pace with our understanding and we'll move on. So we're talking about self-empowerment. What is self-empowerment? My platform, which is called Self-Empowerment, let me explain you why do I call it self-empowerment and what's the big deal about it. Self-empowerment to me is the science of knowing who we are and our capabilities as a human being. So you must be wondering, what is Saroja going to tell us something new that we do not know about ourselves? We know who we are. I've got a wonderful body, a beautiful mind to think, 2 hands, 2 legs, eyes, everything that we can see. But my dear young masters, what we think we know ourselves about is only 1% of who we are. So when you know very little about yourself, how can you really make use of your real potential? And that is the problem with the whole humanity. Because we human beings know so little about ourselves. And when you have little knowledge about yourselves, then you feel helpless. For example, if you thought you only had 1 hand, your other hand was not functional, and your 2 legs were not functional, the case may be different. The real case may be both your hands are purely functional, your legs are strong enough, but because of your limited knowledge, if you only thought your 1 hand was functional, then you would call yourself disabled or handicapped. Nothing wrong with calling yourself whatever you want. But what is wrong is when you think You feel helpless because your potential is limited. That is the story with us. We think we are what we are able to see or understand about ourselves. It's very important to know at a very early age in life that what you think about yourself and what you know about yourself is very little of who you are. And hence, I have embarked on this journey of self-empowerment with my co-human beings just to make them realize their true potential. Through this self-empowerment, every alternate week or every fortnight, I do this workshop which helps me to peel every layer that we have covered ourselves with, thinking what we are not. So that is the story behind this word self-empowerment. So we are empowering ourselves to peel those layers that we have covered ourselves with, thinking we are so helpless, we are so little, we're only this little tiny body with 2 hands, 2 legs, and nothing beyond that. So through self-empowerment, let's help each other to know who we truly are. And not only that, knowing itself is not enough, then we got to train ourselves to put our full potential into practice. So this is the platform through which we're helping each other to do that. The objective of my workshops is to understand how to enjoy life. Now you might say, I'm already enjoying life. I've got a PS3, I've got an Xbox, I've got beautiful friends, and I enjoy my life. Tell me how many times we feel, oh, my friends are gone, I'm alone now. I'm getting bored, my life is boring. I do not have all the stuff that my friend has. So my dear friends, there may be times that you feel that you're having a ball with your life, but at the same time, there are other times where you feel you're lonely, you're helpless. If only you could have the fun going all your life. And that is what these workshops are about. That is what these discussions are about. That you can make your life a celebration every moment. It doesn't have to be only when your friends are around with you. It doesn't have to be when you only get presents. It doesn't have to be when your mom and dad are very nice to you that day. This happiness can really go on every minute, every second in your life, and you can make it a celebration. So life is a celebration, my dear friends. If that's the case, then let's see a little bit closer to our life. You're all young masters, and most of you, I'm sure, must be studying. So let's start with that. Let's start questioning. Questioning is always good. You know, when we do not have an answer for something, it's always good to question. When you do not understand something that your mom and dad says, it's always good to question. I know we parents get sometimes very hyped up when you people ask too many questions, but don't stop asking questions. The only way to learn and to know yourself in this life is keep asking questions. But if you don't ask, you will never know. Never keep quiet that if I ask a question, people will get offended. It is their problem. If they get offended, it means either they do not have answer or they know that their answer is not going to make you happy. So it's their problem, not your problem. So my dear young masters, never stop to ask the question that's popped in your mind, right? So let me start this question. Let me ask you this question. You're all studying. Let's put this question. Why do we study? So parents are putting so much emphasis on us, isn't it? Study, 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 study. And I'm sure, we want to study too because we have got our own thinking. So let's start asking this question. Why do we study? I'm sure most of you must be having in this mind. And this is how we all have been taught or told by our parents or the elders in the society or the so-called experienced people. Why do we study? Because when we study, when we get good grades, we get good qualifications. When you have a nice degree, when you graduate, then you get good work, isn't it? It's all about getting a good job. As I said, ask another question. Why work? Isn't it? You said you want good work, but why work? And what will be the answer? 99% of the answer. There is always exception in this world, but the examples that I'm giving will be applicable to most of us. So when you ask this question, why work? Our answers will be to be well paid, isn't it? You all want to get good jobs, good paid. Why well paid? Why do you need money? Keep asking questions. And the answer will be to lead a happy life. Let's see the other way. If I ask a question to another group of people, why study? Some of them will say, I really don't want to study, but I'm studying because I want to make my parents happy. Why make parents happy? So that you're not in trouble, isn't it? Because if you don't make parents happy, then you may get the naughty corner, or you may get into trouble, you may be grounded, and so on and so forth. And why do you not want to get in trouble? See, I ask you, I encourage you to keep asking questions. Why? To lead a happy life. See, ultimately, both the path that I gave you, why study, ultimately ends with to lead a happy life. But if you want to ask further question, why lead a happy life? I don't think there'll be any further answers because everyone wants to be happy. So ultimately, my dear young masters, everything that we are doing, including what you're doing, or your parents are doing, or any human being is doing in this world, is only to seek one thing, that is happiness. If only we knew what the ultimate was, then this goose chase becomes a bit more easy. So remember, in this world, from the time you have had understanding of what's going around you, everything that you or your parents or your brothers or your sisters or anyone you look around, if you keep asking questions why they are doing, it's because that particular thing makes them happy. So ultimately, my young friends, everything is for happiness. If it is for happiness, then let's look at happiness a little bit closer. We have got confused with the word happiness. In our minds, everyone has kind of trained us that for happiness, you have to do certain things, only then will you be happy. So let's see what comes in our way between us and happiness. What are the blocks? My dear friends, keep muting your phones as you join. So, it's okay if you join late, I understand, but have some respect for the people in the workshop and mute your phones, please. So what is standing in between us and happiness, my dear friends? Acceptance. What is acceptance? Every day, as I speak, just keep thinking about each of your lives in schools, in primary schools, secondary schools, or universities that you go to. From the time we remember how much we have changed ourselves to be accepted by our society. So when I say society, you young masters will be having friends around you. How many times have you changed the way you do your hairstyle, the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you walk? Why? Just to make yourself be a part of the society, and your society is your friend circle. To be cool, isn't it? Sometimes we change our hairstyle. Why? Because I want to look cool. Look cool to who? Who? 9 out of 10 times, my dear friends, it's not about looking cool to yourself. You want to look cool to others because you think if you change yourself, others will accept you. So what's wrong with doing that? The problem with that is if you think you will be accepted if you change according to others, there is no end to it. All your life, you will have to keep changing, cover yourself with all those layers that one day when you wake up, it will be so heavy with those layers that you, friends, will be suffocated underneath it. And when you look back, you will forget who you were because all your life you have changed for someone else. That is why you never feel that this is who you truly are. And that's why we are away from happiness. So rule number 1, if you need happiness in your life, be yourself. When you be yourself, that gives you the confidence, that gives you your true identity. Acceptance will walk in your lap. You have to practice this to know who you are, because all the time you have believed that this is how people will accept if I talk nice to them. I'm not saying you have to be rude, but we don't have to suck up to anyone. Being honest to yourself is the path to happiness. I have been given a time limit to work with you people. So though I would love to talk about each of this topic for half an hour, because this is the first session, I'm going to touch on the key topics. And if you and your parents want to join again, I promise, my dear young masters, we'll meet on this platform in a month's time again, or maybe in a fortnight. But today, I'll have to keep moving on. I have picked a few pointers for your life which will help you, but I wish I could go much deeper into it. So rule number 1, if you want to be happy, you do not have to change for any of you. Your friends, your people that you move around, be honest to yourself, and that is the true happiness that comes in your life. I've got this written in green, get back your remote control. What is it? You know how the TV operates? There's a remote control and we keep pressing the channel 1 and you get channel 1, press 2, you get channel 2. That is how we have made our lives. You might wonder why Saroja madam is saying that way. I don't feel that way. Let me give you an example. If your friend comes and says to you, look, John, you look great today. He has made your day, isn't it? You feel so good. Let's see this example. You've bought this cool cardigan or jumper or sweater or whatever you say in your country. You put on this new sweater and you have spent whatever amount you have spent. You feel good about it because it's your favorite color. It's a nice brand or whatever you can afford. Now you walk to the school or to your friend's party, and all you need is one of them coming to you and saying, oh, John, that color doesn't go well on you. What happens then? Gone all the happiness. All that $100-odd that you spend on the cardigan is gone down the drain because all of a sudden your bubble is burst. How come your bubble is burst? You were happy when you started from home because you loved the jumper. You loved the cardigan. How come? Just someone said that he doesn't like the color, or someone said that she doesn't like your hairstyle, burst your bubble. Why? Because we have given our remote control to everyone else. People are playing around with our channel saying, okay, I'll make this guy happy. Channel 1, which says, blah, 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 blah. You look very happy today. You are beautiful today. The song goes on and we feel happy. All they have to do, someone has to press channel 7, which says, you look like, whatever word I don't want to use, but you don't look good. Or I don't like the way you have dressed. And gone our confidence. Is it not like someone playing with our remote control? So my dear young masters, when we get opportunity to talk about this topic again, we'll go in detail. But to start with, understand that our remote control should be with us, not with anyone else. And that is what is coming in the way of our happiness. Happiness is so easy. You can be happy every moment. Even listening to me, you can be happy. But these are the key things that take us away from happiness, my dear friends. What's the third one? We go by labels that have been tagged on to us. What are these labels? You know how our friends tag us? He's a talkative fellow. And we really start believing after a while. He's not friendly. He's not cool. He's not a team player. He always likes batting. He will never bowl. You know, these kind of things go on in our lives and we start believing them to the point that they become part of our identity of who we are because we start believing it. Remember, my dear young masters, You do not have to go by anyone's opinions. Your opinion is the right opinion about your life. You know the best who you are. No one else knows about you. So if someone is trying to tag you, oh, he's not a friendly guy, he's a loner, he's a boredom, that is their problem. You should not be affected by what people are trying to tag you. The earlier you get used to this will form the foundation of your happy life. Today, if your parents are not happy or your adult friends around you are not happy, half of the problem is this. They have accepted the label that their friends have given them when they were in primary school, secondary school. That's where the life foundation starts. You're very young. There's time for you to change your life. So what's the secret to a happy and successful life? I told you what's in between you and happiness, the three key things. But what is the success to a happy life? Remember, somebody's opinion about you does not have to become your reality. Let them think what they think. But if you have true intention about yourself, if you know who you are, accept it. If you want to change, that's fine. But it should be your opinion, not someone's opinion. Not your friend branding you. He's not a good player. He's not a team player. Let's take him out of the team. It's his opinion. Do not ruin your life because of someone's opinion. Do not change your reality. Very important thing. This is a secret to a happy and successful life. People who believe in themselves, people who do not get affected by others' opinion, are always strong and they know what they want and they achieve in life. This is the biggest secret to happy and successful life. What is another secret? Know that you are perfectly beautiful within you, just the way you are. You know what? Most of us are not happy with who we are. People who think they are short. What is short? There is no benchmark. You just compare yourself with your friend who must have shot up 2 inches more than you when you're in grade 5. You're looking up to him and saying, oh my God, I'm so short. I'm not happy. I want to be tall. If you want to be tall on your own, that is fine. But do not try to change yourself because you want to become someone else. No two human beings on this earth will ever be alike. And that's how it should be, because each one of us are unique. That is how this creation has made us. My dear friends, if we all were supposed to be alike, then we would not be called human beings. We would be called robots. Do we want to be called robots? No. We are beautiful beings with an intelligent mind. Who has intelligence? Only human beings have intelligence. All the animals, they go by instincts. They go by nature. They don't use their intellect. We'll talk about that intellect. They have the intellect potential, but that's dormant. They don't use it. They cannot use it. They do not know how to use it. So know that you're perfectly beautiful. Just the way you are. You do not have to change even 1 ounce or half an inch. And that is the key to success. People who want to be successful never compare themselves with the next person. Comparison leads to our failure. My dear young masters, remember in your mind, you're beautiful. You are not short, you are not tall, you are not fair, you're not dark, you're not polite, you're not arrogant. You are just the way you should be. There is no standard to tell John or Kapil should be like this. You are perfect the way you are for what you have come onto this plane. There is no need to change. Isn't that great? Feels like a big burden off my shoulder that I don't have to do any change. If you want to change for your good, you do it for yourself, not by comparison. So, what is the secret that we want to share? Happiness is a choice. My dear young masters, remember you can choose to be happy. Happiness is not a result of what you get into your life. You know what we think? If I get Xbox today, I will be happy. Xbox will come into your house. You will be happy for one day. You mark my words. Go back and cast your thought couple of months back when you got what you wanted. 5 days, 10 days, you played with that Xbox. Then you thought, I'm getting bored. I need a friend to play. Then the friend comes over. That goes on for a week. And then you're bored. Any happiness that comes from outside, what's outside? Xbox coming from outside, isn't it? Is always short-lived. So you cannot go after running after things. You can still be happy without having anything in your life. How? You can choose to be happy. You have the power. See, do not give away your power by saying, I will be happy when I get something. That means you're dependent. Happiness is a choice. How can happiness be a choice? As I said, we always believe that when we get what we want, we feel good. But what is the truth? You don't get what you want until you're already feeling good. This is the secret that we do not know. If you want something, then you got to feel that something. That is the law of attraction. My dear friends, within the time I have been allocated this half an hour with you children, law of attraction, I would love to tell you, because it's not for your parents to learn law of attraction. They are too old. They've lived half their lives. You are the people who should know what is law of attraction. But for today's purpose, just remember that you can attract anything into your life if you give proper focus and attention. How? If you radiate the feeling of good, you will attract good from this universe. That is how this universe operates. This is called law of attraction. If you want good to happen in your life, if you want to be happy, then it's a choice. First, start radiating the feeling of happiness. This law of attraction is a topic in itself, but it's a very important topic for you children. I will talk to your parents and we will have a separate session for this. But for today, you have a choice to be happy. How? You emanate the feeling that you're happy. Be happy. Laugh loud. When you laugh, the laughter hormones will just make more happiness come out of you. The more you start radiating happiness, happiness will walk into your life. So I talked about everything that you should be doing for happiness. What shouldn't you be doing for happiness? What should you be keeping away so that you do not go through this? Envy. Never have jealous. The 3 things that you should avoid in life is envy, being jealous, nosiness. You know, most of us are interested in what's going on in others' lives more than us. That is what take away from your life. Number 3, which is very related to nosiness, is criticism. Never criticize others. When do we criticize? First, we have to be nosy, and then we criticize. My dear young masters, these 3 things are things that keeps us away from happiness. First, stop comparing with yourself. When you stop comparing, then there is no room for jealousy or envy. Do not interfere with others' lives. Do not be nosy. When you stop being nosy, there is no room for criticism. Everything that you see in this creation, whether what you can see or what you can't see. Now you might say, what is there I can't see? Wind. I'm giving you very simple examples. Wind. You can feel the wind, but can you see it? No. There are many more things which you can't even feel or see, but they still exist in this creation. So my dear friends, get the basic understanding of creation, that whatever it is that exists in the universe, whether you can see it or you cannot see it, the building block behind it is pure energy. But why do you see it in different forms? Because some of you, a little bit adult young masters who are there in the group, they will understand that anything to do with energy vibrates. Energy is never a straight line. It vibrates. So it vibrates at different frequencies. And that's what makes you see it in different forms. So the human body that you are seeing now is vibrating, is pure energy vibrating at one certain frequency that allows your eyes to see it in human form. The table in front of you is pure energy vibrating at another frequency. The wind that you can feel but cannot see is vibrating at another frequency. My dear masters, people who are into their high schools and universities, I encourage you to read articles on quantum energy, quantum physics, because it's not someone else's story, it is your own life story. If you want to know who you are, then you need to understand what is quantum physics and quantum energy, because what you think is not what you are. This is what you are, my dear young masters. I am running over time, but this is the last slide before I'm going to close the young masters session. This looks like a very complicated chart. I'm not going to dwell too much detail on it, but I promise that I will come back on this chart again for another workshop for all those young masters who want to know what this is. This is the story of your life and my life, my dear friends. So you see that pink, the first circle, or you see that circle, that the first one I showed, the pink one, the baby pink color, which says physical body. That is the body that you and I can see every day, who we are, 2 hands, 2 legs, eyes, whatever you can see. Even when you cut the body open, the nerves, the muscles, the organs, these are all you can see with your naked eyes. And that's called the physical body. But that is 1% of who you are. So what is the other 99% that we don't know of? See, what an irony. We know only 1% of ourselves, and we are still conducting our life without knowing who we are. So it doesn't matter how young you are, you must know that there is 99% of invisible part of ourselves which we cannot see, but we can still operate from that levels. What are those other 99%? There are 4 more bodies of yours which you cannot see with your naked eye, but it exists around you. Your energy body, which is pure energy, your mental body, from where your emotions, thoughts are coming, your intellect body, which helps you to make your decisions on a day-to-day basis, your bliss body, when you get your true happiness, you operating from your bliss body level. My dear young masters, I would want to go into each one of that in detail, but for today's purpose, I'm only going to go a little bit more detail into your second body, which is energy body, which is very, very important. I cannot ignore that. For your physical body to function well, what do I mean physical body to function well? For your nervous system, for your reproductive system, for your cardiac system, for your nervous system, your blood circulation, your excretory system, endocrinal system, whatever you name, for any system in this physical body to operate 100%, your energy body has to be 100%. You see that purple body that I drew around the physical body? If that is not 100%, then you will start getting illness in your physical body. So every ailment or illness or sickness that you feel in the physical body is because your energy body is having problems and it's reflecting in your physical body. So you have to realize that your energy body should be functioning well if you want to lead a healthy life. You go to doctors when you have problem, you have a headache or you have a cut. The doctors give you medicine. They are not treating the cause. They're only trying to put a band-aid to a problem that you've already created in the energy body, which has reflected in your physical body. So if someone wants to be healthy, someone wants to be free of your any illness, then you have to operate on the energy body level, because energy body is the body where the true energy of who you are is flowing. And if that energy gets blocked, you will start seeing illnesses in the physical body. So how do we make sure that our energy body is going 100%? My dear friends, I will not say anything more, because whoever brought you onto this platform, your parents, I have given them a small technique which is called Anapanasati meditation. So after the workshop is finished, sit with your parents for 5 minutes just to understand how do I clean my energy body. This is a big subject. I cannot talk in the next 2 minutes because my time is up. But you can sit with your parents and just understand the little simple technique of breath meditation on how to clean this energy body. With that, I close the session for my dear young masters. Thank you very much. It's been a great pleasure to see you all today early in the morning Melbourne time. And if universe wishes, and if you and your parents want us to meet again, we will meet soon. Today, I have just given you the glimpses of what I want to really talk in length. But if in any particular topic interests you in what we have talked in this half an hour of 35 minutes, let me know through your parents. Thank you very much. With that, we finish session 1 for young masters, self-empowerment education. Thank you, my dear friends. Hello, my dear parents. We are into session 2, holistic parenting. I did my best trying to wind this topic up in 40 minutes. It was a challenge. Whoever requested me to do this session in half an hour, I want to tell them how impossible it is. But having understood that your teenagers have only got a limited span of focus, which that's what one of the parents said, I have tried to completely honor your request, and this is the best we could do. So let's get into holistic parenting. Hope you're all enjoying your weekend. US people, I know it's a long weekend for you, and some of you may have also canceled your trips because I had this workshop, so my apologies. When I scheduled this workshop, I totally forgot that it was your Independence Day long weekend, but I'm sure I'll make it up to you. Holistic parenting is such an important topic, and it's such a topic close to every parent's heart. Since the beginning of this year, I think I've done 23 workshops on this platform, and we have talked about various topics really. And one topic that have been repeatedly being requested was, Madam, we understand all this, but how do we convey this to our children? Or are we doing the right thing? Are we bringing up the children in a right way? What a great question. Every parent thinks that he's doing the right thing. But how many parents do really question, am I doing the right thing by my children? Every parent who are here on this platform today with me, I really bow my head to you, because that's a wonderful question to really inquire within you, that am I doing right by my children? And I always had this question. My children have grown up a little bit, but I still keep dwelling on the question that what else can we do to bring the right environment for them so that they don't go through the same loopholes that we went through. And that's what we will try to talk about it today, my dear friends. First of all, the first basic thing or the myth that we as human beings have is we own our children. Why? Because we have given birth to them, isn't it? Let me break your myth, a myth buster. We do not own our children. If you think you own your children, just take it out of your mind that you do not own your children. Why? Because we have not chosen them. Children have chosen us to be their parents. In my last 2 sessions about holistic living and karma, I clearly mentioned, I showed you at what point of time in the pregnancy does the soul enter the womb. So when the concept or when the conceiving happened in the embryo, there is no soul. So you have just decided to be pregnant, but you have not decided who is going to come to you. It is the child who have sat with his guides and masters in the other realm to pick his parents. So why he has chosen you? Why? To help them achieve their purpose in their lives. Whatever purpose that they have come here with, they have looked around and they have decided that you will give them the ideal surroundings and environment to nourish them to be those people that they can achieve their purpose. Remember, it's very important. You're only their guides and helpers. You do not own them. So if you do not own them and you have no knowledge about who these souls are and why they have come into your life, do not try to judge them. You're judging them on the basis of what? On basis of your experiences, on the basis of your belief system, on the basis of your values, on the basis of your karma, on the basis of your priorities in life. It's not theirs. You have been brought up in a certain environment because that environment was right for your purpose in life. Basis that environment, you have developed your belief system. Like your parents brought you up in a certain way, which was all right for you. Because you chose your parents, because you knew that your parents would give you that belief system, which will help them. Right. But your parents, if they did not understand this whole creation, that is a different thing. But you people are here on this self-empowerment platform with a lot of knowledge already. So do not try to judge your children basis your experiences, your belief system, your values, because your karma path is totally different to theirs. Your priorities in life doesn't have to be their priorities in life. Do not pollute their mind with your thinking. Give them a chance to be what they want to be true to themselves, to be who they truly are. So if you remember what I said in the Young Masters session, do not label them. Do not push them to be something that they are not. You want your son to be the class topper, that may be your priority. I'm not saying that he should fail. But if he is coming second, third, fourth, you do not have to make his life miserable because that's your priority. We are talking about the material gains here, but we are on a platform which is much beyond that. We know what is karma cycle. We know why we come here. So give them a chance to build their experiences, because they are going to learn through their experiences, not through yours. Why do we come onto this plane? We have talked several times. This earth plane is like a school for us, where we come to learn lessons through our experiences. Everything that happens in our life is only an experience. Why? Because there is something to learn from them. And that is the way we deal with our karma. This is not a karma workshop, but we have talked about karma long. Because of our karma, we take certain pattern in our life, we take certain path through which we get our experiences. So give them a chance to learn their own experiences. Why do you want to rub your experience onto them? Very important for spiritual parenting. I will not just call it spiritual, I call it holistic, because it's much more than that. So when I say give them a chance to build their experiences, it does not mean don't support them. Support them, because they may be very mature masters spiritually, but they have come in this body form and they will need support, because that's the chain of birth and death. So while they have come through you, give them support to be who they are. Let them grow into an individual that they have come here to serve their purpose. Children, including young adults, require your support in different stages of their lives. So they have physical needs. Like I said, when the baby is born, it needs to be fed, clean. Different stages. Even throughout when they are in the school, they will need physical need. You may have to cook their lunches, their dinners, help them do their shopping. These are all physical needs. Financial needs. They will need financial needs, for schooling, for buying clothes, whatever purpose, till they are financially independent. So till they are physically independent, you need to physically help them. Till they are financially independent, we support them. One of the things that most of the parents totally forget is the emotional needs. You think physical and financial needs are big. If that's what you think, then emotional needs are bigger than that, which help them to become who they become later. So do not underestimate the importance of emotional needs. What they feel when they come back from school, what kind of day they have had. If they are thinking that they don't fit in any particular group, why? It's not because they are loner. You have to understand as spiritual masters that physical and financial are not the only thing. There are emotional needs. Every being is different. So as parents, it is our responsibility to give them that emotional support. Today, many people are, especially in the universities, I go for counseling in the universities. I see there are children, there are young adults who are breaking apart because of anxiety, because of depression, you name it. Because of any problem. So, sorry, my dear friend, someone decided to join late and not muted. So this is the problem when people don't do their discipline of muting the microphones. So please do not unmute your microphones. Thank you very much. So emotional needs are much more bigger. You can live without one-time meal, but when you're breaking apart, that is the emotional support you need. And no one better than parents can do that. Even children in universities don't think that they are adults they do not need. That is where people are breaking apart and attempting suicides. Most of the counseling cases that come to me are young adults who have been thrown on their own because they have crossed 18 and people think they're adults. They're very young adults. They still need support. They're finding their way. So this is part of our holistic parenting, my dear friends. Your children will always need your support for emotional support. Give them the confidence that you're always there with them. Whether you may be in a position that you're retired, you can't give them finance. It's fine. Not everything can be done with money, but just give them the confidence that no matter where they are, how old they are, you're always there for them. You may be in your 90s. Doesn't matter. They can still come and talk to you. But for that, they should have the confidence. Many people think, how can I be of any help to my grown-ups? So what do you need for them? Bit of empathy. What is empathy? A listening ear. If someone has an issue, can you even listen to them? Can you give them that time? They don't need anything more. Our children of all just need a little bit of time. And that's what is lacking in our schedule. I'm too busy because I've got 3 jobs to do. I don't have time. And what are those 3 jobs good for if your child or your children are breaking? My dear friends, finance is required for the minimum needs of life. But beyond that, emotional support plays a big role in your children's life. So have a bit of empathy. Patience. Your child must come with the same problem again and again. And don't say, oh my God, you have never learned your lesson. You've always been hopeless. I know it's frustrating. But we are talking about holistic parenting, my dear friends. The least we can do is have that empathy and patience and a listening ear without judgment. Don't stamp them. Don't judge them that they are losers. They can't keep their job. They can't keep friends. They can't have stable relationships. They're already suffering. You don't have to brand them more. If you start judging them, then who on the earth are they going to go for non-judgmental support? There's no one else. We think these are little things. I'm vexed up. I'm frustrated. I have raised them for 25 years. I can't manage them anymore. You do not have to do anything physically, anything financially at that age when they are young adults. That is the most difficult time for parents. They have no clue what to do with their young adult children because they think, oh, she's got a job. She can look after herself. She doesn't need me. She has money. She can look after. But emotional needs. This is all we can do as human beings. One of my objectives of self-empowerment platform is to give that shoulder for someone to cry upon. Give that 5 minutes time. Give one listening ear. There'll be no anxiety or depression epidemic in this humanity. So you're not doing a favor to anyone. You're doing it for your own children. And most of all, unconditional love. I have talked about unconditional love so many times. And for those who are attending again after a long time, let me remind you what is unconditional love. It comes with 2 important things: acceptance and allowing. What is acceptance? Accept your children the way they are. Don't expect them to change because you don't like them the way they are. As I said before, 2 human beings are never going to be the same. Each one of us are unique because our purpose in life is unique. Accept them the way they are. If someone always keeps rubbing their nose and you don't like it, one of your child, so be it. You haven't taught them that. It's part of their personality. Personality comes with karma and your past lives. So accept them the way they are, allowing them to be who they are and who they want to be. That is unconditional love. So support your children with unconditional love. Give them the confidence that no matter what they achieve or whether they don't achieve, they will never be deprived of unconditional love from your side. Every child who has that faith in their parents, that no matter what I am or where I am, I have got always my parents' support. They are the people who are always happy and feel successful. You do not have to be successful. If you feel successful, you are successful, because all the reality that you see outside is part of your perception. People who feel they are successful are successful. People who feel they're strong are strong. And that's the truth of life. So what is holistic parenting? Parenting that nurtures your children physically, mentally, and spiritually. So we talked about the physical, financial, the mental, emotional. Now we are talking about spiritually. So holistic parenting doesn't mean just spiritual parenting. That is not holistic parenting. You're only taking care of one side of the children, the spirituality. There, you need to understand, start building the block, understand them physically, understand them emotionally, and then look from spiritual perspective and slowly give them the support. So there are 6 important laws of spiritual laws of this creation, which you must understand, and you should introduce these 6 spiritual laws to your children at an early age. I purposely did not put it in their session because it needs to come from you. So what's the first one? Law of consciousness. Every child needs to understand that everything is made of consciousness. Consciousness is the building block of this creation. Our children have lost touch from the reality. Whatever they can't see doesn't exist for them. My dear friends, we are self-empowered masters, and our children should also be self-empowered children. Give them the knowledge early in life. Law of consciousness, which is everything is made of consciousness, awareness in this creation. Law of reincarnation. The life that they're seeing now is not the only life which they have ever faced. It's a journey, and we move from one life to another based on the 3rd law, which is law of karma. As I said, introduce law of karma very early on into your child's life. That will make their life. They will learn early, because they understand law of action and reaction are always equal. Make them understand that whatever they give, pain or pleasure to others, the same they are going to receive back. Law of karma should be explained very well to your children. But for that, you need time. So if you people want, I'm more than happy to take a separate session, a half-hour session for your children on law of karma. But otherwise, parents are the best teachers. So please explain them that whatever they do has a repercussion. They can't just get away doing anything and thinking they will have a happy life. We all know it's a matter of time. What goes around comes around. This is what our karma logo was. Law of karma. What goes around comes around. What you sow, so you reap. So our children should be very careful with what they are dishing out very early in the age. So what are they dishing out? They're dishing out thoughts left, right, and center without even thinking what's going out. They're dishing out words. They don't even think what is the repercussion of these words. And of course, the actions, which is the final outcome of their thinking. So we should train our children to think very carefully, to have the right thoughts, the right words, and the right deeds. It's too late if you tell them at the age of 40 and 50. They've already accumulated enough karma. My dear friends, whether we like it or not, everything you're facing in your life, in this current moment, whether you label it good or bad, it's all because of our karma. And that karma results may come in this lifetime or the next lifetime, does not matter. So your children need to understand that there is a law of reincarnation. What they do in this life will not be limited to this life. They are going to see the repercussion either in this life or in the next life. Unless you start talking to them about this, no one else will. The current education does not have provision for this. Thanks to the Andhra Pradesh government, have got this beautiful platform now to teach the spiritual knowledge and meditation in primary school. And at the moment, with the Victoria government in Australia, I've started my journey to slowly trying to convince them to introduce meditation in school. And with the well wishes of all you, I'm sure all over the world will be helping children with this knowledge, this spiritual knowledge, which should be the backbone. What is the law of constant progression? Law of constant progression means there is no going back. Once you have started on this journey of evolution, wherever you are, we only move forward. There's no going back. So give the confidence to your children that the life can only get better. There's no looking back. What's the law of hastening progression? The day you step into understanding who you truly are, which what we discuss here on these platforms, the evolution that we are talking about starts hastening, accelerating with your practice of meditation, with the practice of talking about who we truly are. Our understanding suddenly starts growing faster. Earlier, if it was linear, for mathematical students, they understand, it becomes exponential. That is the law of hastening progression. So you can hasten your progress. You do not have to go with the same path for last 50 years, 50 lives you have been. The day you start questioning your being, that's when you have started accelerating. The law of uncertainty. Law of uncertainty clearly says at any given time, the circumstances that you are facing is a result of many factors, which is beyond your comprehension. So be prepared to face anything, because that is how you have designed your life. But unfortunately, when we come onto this plane, we cannot remember that. And that is what is called Maya, delusion, or the play of this earth plane. So spiritual practicality. So what are those practical things that your children should be aware of? Make them aware of being in the present. I do not have to repeat this how many times we have talked about why we should be mindful, why we should understand being in the present. So if you can take these 5 things into your grip, and 1, 2, 3, 6, and just let your children know what is the importance of being in the present and how to be in the present. You're helping them, you're giving them a big, big, big gift for life. Encourage practice of being in the gap. So what is being in the gap? People who attended my workshops before or my online topic that I picked last year, I talked for more than 2 hours about this being in the gap. So what is gap? Every now and then, unproductive or nonsense thoughts are always happening in our mind, because that's how we are trained. We have talked about this many times. We don't have to control. Thoughts are always happening. But there are times that there is gap between thoughts. That is where our true being is. So we should try to live in that gap when there is no thoughts. Try to be aware of the gap. And that's what the practice of breath meditation is. We are trying to find that gap between the thoughts where we can connect to our breath, because that is what we are. And the more you practice being in the gap keeps widening and widening. So, my dear friends, it is very important to understand what is in the gap. Because people think, what's the big deal? Why should I understand, what's there in the gap? Because that is where the real life is. As long as you're in your thoughts, you will never see the real life. So introduce meditation and its benefits very early on in the life of the children. Teach them how to be in that gap. Tell them what's the importance of forgiveness and its necessity. I don't have to repeat. They had a whole session on this. Encourage them to understand less is more. This world has got a problem where they have no understanding of less is more. People want more. and still not feeling abandoned. So make them understand that less is more and how to feel abandoned with less. And most of all, teach them how to accept themselves as who they are, because each one of us is complete. There is nothing to do. Now, I did mention these 3 things in Young Masters session, but this is just not for Young Masters alone. This is for adults as well. Envy, nosiness, and criticism. These 3 things we as parents should be aware, and through role models, we have to teach them to be aware, because it's a very, very important thing. If you are on spiritual practice, you should become Anasuya. Most of you think Anasuya means it's a name. It doesn't mean anything to me. So let me explain you, my dear friends. Anasuya means person who doesn't have asuya. This is a Sanskrit word. Asuya means jealousy. Only the person who has anasuya is eligible for any spiritual understanding or practice, because knowledge is a product of anasuya. Now, let me give you a bit of an understanding, because it's very important for each one of you or each one of us to understand. We all have heard the story of Dattatreya. Dattatreya is one of the forms that is a symbol of spiritual knowledge. People who have read Puranas and Vedas, they would have known about Dattatreya, how Lord Parashurama went to Dattatreya for spiritual knowledge. Dattatreya sent him back and said, you do a bit more practice and then come back. You're not ready for it. You're not ready for it. So what is that one thing that makes you eligible for spiritual knowledge? Is anasuya, not having envy. Do not be jealous of others. So what is the story behind this anasuya? Lord Dattatreya supposed to be, or is known to be, the son of Anasuya and Atri Mahamuni. Every name has got a symbolism. That is the greatness of our scriptures. Everything has been given in form of stories and names, and they are self-explanatory. So what is the explanation that is coming out of it? Atri, Mahamuni Atri. What is the name Atri? Remember, three means 3. Traya. It comes from Sanskrit. The 3 qualities that bind us into this cycle of birth and death. Rajoguna, Tamoguna, and Sattva-guna. These are the 3 qualities that will make you come back and again into this life cycle birth. The person who can break himself away from these 3 qualities, Tamoguna, Rajoguna, and Sattva-guna, gets free from this binding chain of life and death cycle. And that is what Atri name stands for. So Atri Mahamuni stands for someone who has gone beyond these 3 qualities that keeps a human being in the bind of life and death. And when you are in that form, what comes out as a product of being in that form? When you transcend these 3 qualities, you become Anasuya, and that's what his wife name was called, Anasuya. So by being Atri, you become Anasuya, and when you become Anasuya, what do you get? You get Dattatreya. Dattatreya is the stream of spirituality. So when a person is beyond these 3 qualities and generates the quality of Anasuya, he or she becomes Dattatreya himself or herself, becomes the stream of knowledge. In the mythological Purana form, Lord Vishnu has given himself to be the son of Anasuya and Atri Mahamuni. See, everything has been told us in form of fables so that we understand. Why would Lord Mahavishnu give himself as a son? That is creation. When a person goes beyond these 3 qualities of Sattva, Raja and Tamoguna, and he becomes Anasuya, the creation opens up in front of that person, and all the secrets of spirituality and knowledge are revealed to that person. and that person becomes Dattatreya. Very important story and very important lesson that we all should remember. They are just not names and stories. Everything that's stored in Vedas and scriptures have got a meaning behind, so that we can remember. So when we come to nosiness and criticism, what did I say? Earlier when I was talking karma workshop, I said 2 things that you should be aware if you do not want any more karma, any more bondage of karma, is do not interfere, non-interference in other lives. When you have non-interference, there will be very little karma. But that, my dear friends, I have tried to finish this topic within the time that was given to me. Before I open this session for question answers, I'm going to invite my friend Srinivas from Canada. The reason I'm inviting my friend Srinivas from Canada is Srinivas was not a regular to my workshop. His wife Devi has been attending my workshop for so long. I have known her for quite some time. She's a great spiritual master. She always wanted her husband to be part of this workshop. Her intentions were so pure. Somewhere towards the end of first quarter this year, Srinivas happened to be a part of my workshop. And the reason I'm sharing about Srinivas, there are a lot of people who have come into my life on this platform. But one thing that I have come to know about Srinivas is everything that Srinivas and Devi has learned through this platform, Srinivas in his own way has tried to share all this spiritual knowledge with his children. When I talked about holistic living and when I talked about holistic living and I tried to give that picture of energy body and so what did we call? We said Annamaya Kosha, we said Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha. Now, this couple, or Srinivas in particular, has been sitting with his children, giving them this information to the point that one of his children went to the school and was trying to explain to the teacher about it. When I was talking to Srinivas, my heart soared, because more than what I'm doing, what Srinivas is doing with his children in terms of his eagerness to spread this knowledge of spirituality to his children is commendable. So I'm trying to unmute Devi's phone. Just bear with me. If Srinivas is able to speak, good, but I think Devi is on phone and I'm trying to unmute.
Hello.
Srinivas, is that you?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. Srinivas, I have given a bit of introduction, but I would really like, keeping in your mind our time constraint, if you can keep it between 5 to 7 minutes, I would really appreciate. And if then people have questions, we can go around. Over to you, Srinivas. I would really love to know your journey, about the beautiful journey on what made you feel that you should share all these complicated things, so-called complicated things, with your children. Over to you. You can switch on your video, whatever you want.
Okay. First of
I'm
all,
going to stop sharing. Yeah, just bear with me. Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, so am I audible, madam?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So I would like to start that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And it's my lucky or adrustam that I have been in this platform.